Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Friends, today I am going to spend some time on talking on one of the 7 strategies that Buddha has outlined in Sabbasava Sutta. As you all know, Sabbasava Sutta is in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 2. It's an extremely important discourse. It takes a very long time for us to master that sutta. Not in 1 or 2 hours can we finish talking, discussing the material in that sutta. So I thought of taking one of them tonight and talking on that. The sutta begins saying that, Bhikkhus, I shall teach you a discourse on the restraint of all the taints. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say. All the taints, not 1, 2, 3. And he is going to teach us, give us a discourse on restraint. Restraint is one of the 7 steps or methods of overcoming restraints or overcome the taints. But the entire sutta, entire discourse, Buddha called restraint. Although there are 6 other steps, he emphasized in his discourse this strategy, this step, restraint. Sabba sangvara pariyayam bhikkhave desisami tang sunata manasikarota. And he says in this discourse, this is very important, as I mentioned, because he says, not only because he says, but because what he said there are truth. I say that the destruction of the taints is for one who knows and sees, and not one who does not know and see. This is very important, because one does not see taints and does not know that there are taints and what those taints are. That individual cannot deal with them, cannot overcome it, destroy them. In order for us to destroy something, we should know what it is. We want to destroy weed, we must know the weed. When we know certain thing is destructive, harmful for our life, we must be very sure that we know what harmful is, and we must know and we must see it very clearly. If we don't see and don't know what is harmful, we will continue to hold on to it, thinking that it is beneficial and meaningful. So this statement is very important. Only those who see and know can destroy these taints. Who knows and sees what? This question also is a very important question. He himself asked the question for us to think. Wise attention and unwise attention. One who knows what is wise attention, what is unwise attention. That is, what is yoniso manasikara, what is not yoniso manasikara. And one who knows yoniso manasikara and sees unyoniso manasikara, or unmindful reflection, one must make the distinction between these two. What is mindful reflection and what is not mindful reflection? We must know. When one attends unwisely, unarisen taints arise and arisen taints increase. When one attends wisely, unarisen taints do not arise and arisen taints are abandoned. This is the chorus we have to keep in mind when we study this discourse. When we have unmindful reflection, unarisen taints arise, arisen taints increase. When we have mindful reflection, unarisen taints do not arise, arisen taints will disappear. So, they are called asavas in Pali. Taints is very simple English translation, but the word asava has a very wider connotation. Asava actually is like a dominating negative mental state. As you know, asava is something that is brewed in our subconscious mind. Not only today, not yesterday, not day before yesterday, not in 1 year, but from time immemorial. These taints, asavas, have been brewing in our mind. And therefore, they are the roots of our problems. It is therefore very difficult to see them, and since we do not see them very clearly, easily, difficult to destroy them. The word destroy for many people is unpalatable term. Why do you want to destroy? Why not to transcend it? Why not to replace it? Words like this people try to put into the Buddha's mouth. Buddha said, Buddha used the word very clearly, asavanam kaya. Kaya means not kaya, K-A-Y-A, kaya, K-H-A-Y-A. Kaya means destroying, uprooting, without leaving a stain, a scrupule of root in it. So we should not be afraid of these terms using. No matter how people feel, what people feel, because of their own unmindful reflection, not seeing the power of these taints, they try to make it very light, very simple. As Buddha said, if they know how powerful they are, how destructive they are, what do they destroy? They destroy a spiritual life, a spiritual achievement, a spiritual success, whole spiritual practice. They destroy. Therefore, there must be another force to destroy them. We are not talking about destroying any living beings. We are destroying various negative mental states That is not something unwholesome. That is not we are doing with anger, hatred, delusion. If there is an anger, hatred and delusion, they are taints. they are asavas. So we must get rid of that. So, in various places, Buddha himself has mentioned what these asavas are. Kāmasava, bhavasava, avijjasava. And kāmasava prepare kama bhava. Bhavasava is what is bhava? Before we talk about asava, what is bhava? Bhavasava, second is bhavasava. First of all, let me give you some meaning of kāmasava. What is kāmasava? We all know desire that arises through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind for their respective objects, to enjoy them. If the object happens to be pleasant, form, sound, smell, taste and touch and various mental states, if they are pleasant, desire definitely arises. We don't deliberately arouse our desire. That is the danger of these taints. We don't say, I want to be greedy. Nobody says that. Greed arises when senses and sensory objects come in contact together. Feeling arises. That feeling also we do not plan in advance. I want to feel this way. And as soon as the feeling arises, together with this, simultaneously, greed arises. So, since it happens without our even intention, we are really victim of our greed. So you can see how powerful it is, how dominating it is. And therefore Buddha gave a very powerful method to deal with this formidable enemy, power. And then what is kama bhava or bhava? What is bhava? We use the word bhava very frequently in dependent origination and elsewhere. But we must understand what the bhava means. If there is bhava, there is a birth. The formula we have memorized. Very easy to memorize, these 12 steps of the dependent origination. But it is just like a parroting without understanding. Each of the 12 steps of the dependent origination should be understood very clearly, because dependent origination means a dependent arising of suffering and its end. Whole dependent origination, whole paticca samuppada is an explanation of arising suffering. So, bhava is one of the difficult steps to understand in the dependent origination discourse. And because of this, bhava tanha is also taints asava. Bhava tanha is another asava. Kama tanha is another asava. It's called kama asava, kama tanha, kama bhava, and all these used for the same thing. And that is why I said it is not something that happens very quickly and disappears quickly. It is very strong, powerful force. So, bhava is preparing for the next existence, or preparing for the next moment. That is conditioning through our thoughts, words and deeds. We condition prepare our future. This preparation for the future, the whole process of preparation for the next moment, next day, next life is called bhava. And when the preparation has already done, what is to expect after that? Getting into what you have prepared. You don't prepare something and leave it behind. Why you prepare? Because you want to enjoy it. You want to get into it. And that is called birth. And that happens even now. We are preparing for something, and then we get it. We prepare for cooking, and then we cook. When we prepare for a journey, then we take the journey. When we prepare to become a carpenter, we become a carpenter. When we prepare to become a doctor, we become a doctor. So that preparatory stage is called, in Pali, kamma bhava. Kamma bhava. So, kamma bhava is prepared through the power of kama asava. If there is no kama asava, we will not prepare kamma bhava, or prepare our kamma. And see, only one who knows this, sees this, becomes very strong, becomes enthusiastic to destroy it. One who does not know it simply succumb to this situation and get carried away with it and be born again and again and again. So the asavas, therefore, is not something very simple. It's very powerful. It prepares not only this life, but even future lives. So, therefore, what is kama bhava is preparing ourselves in this life to make this life. Therefore, kama asava is another conditions, sankhara. The sankhara is sankatang abhisankaroti iti sankhara. Kincha bhikkhave sankatang abhisankaroti, rupam bhikkhave rupatthaaya sankatang abhisankaroti. Vedana bhikkhave vedanatthaaya sankatang abhisankaroti. Sanya sanyatthaaya sankatang abhisankaroti. Sankhara sankharatthaaya sankatang abhisankaroti. Viññānaṁ viññānatthaaya sankatang abhisankaroti. Meaning, the body, kaya, body is already made. And making this body for further existence is sankhara. So therefore body is a sankhara. Body, we always prepares for the next moment to exist. We have to breathe and condition. While we are breathing, we condition our body. We eat to condition our body. We drink, we sleep, we wash, we take rest, we exercise, we do all kind of things to maintain this body, prepare this body, repair this body, remodel this body, reconstruct this body for the next moment. And this reconstruction, remodeling, preparing, repairing never ends. And therefore it is called sankhara. Feeling also like that. We always generates new feeling, prepares for some other feelings and renew previous feelings, refresh some feelings and keep preparing, remodeling our feelings. Similarly, perception. Perception is visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatal, and tactile and mental recognition. With these six senses, we recognize things. Through these six senses, we recognize. We keep recognizing all the time. So therefore they are called sankhara. And volitional formations, we always think and think and think. What we thought yesterday, we change it and have new thoughts. And what we are thinking now, we change again a few moments later or next hour, next day. And we keep thinking in various ways. And therefore, consciousness also is like this. Therefore, they are called sankhara. Now, this preparation is called bhava. And sometimes the Buddha call it bhava sankhara. In Mahaparinibbana Sutta and in Iddhipada Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha used bhava sankhara Vassaji Muni. He stopped or gave up the preparation for re-existence, preparation for next existence. He destroyed and brought to an end. The word is used for other places also, jivita sankhara, preparing for life, bhava sankhara, preparing for next life, and so forth. And all these things are done because of the presence of asava. And that is what has happened in the past for so many countless lives. That is what is happening now, and that will what happen in future. Therefore, restraining these taints is very important. Now, I pick only one of the 7 asavas, 7 steps of destroying asavas. I picked up for my talk today Samvara. What are the 7? First is Dassanena Pahatabba Asava. By vision, seeing, some we destroy. Second is Patisevana. By using, like Patisankayana, so Chivaram. They are Patisevana, using. And the next is parivajjana, avoiding. Vinodana is getting rid of. Adhivasana, with patience, tolerating, like aches and pains and cold and heat. These days it is so hot. What can we do? We tolerate it. Similarly, there arise situations where things happen beyond our control, beyond our anything that we can do, beyond our control. Things happen. What else can we do? We have to tolerate. So, the next is, after Adhivasana, we have Samvara. The last is Bhavana. So I picked up Sangvara. Sangvara means restraint. There are many types of Sangvaras. Sila Sangvara. Sila Sangvara is moral restraint. Restraint by observing certain training rules. All these training rules that Buddha has introduced are for us to restrain. What do we restrain? Our taints, our defilements. So our most compassionate Buddha, in his introducing this subject, he pointed out 7 things, and this is one of them. And we divide them into groups. The moral restraint, we divide into groups. In the first group we have 5 precepts, 5 training rules. Second, we have 8 lifetime precepts. Third, we have 8 monastic precepts. Fourth, we have higher precepts for the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. And so with mindful reflection, we learn to restrain our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. We restrain them to discipline our physical activities, verbal activities and mental activities. Physical activities like killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, verbal activity, lying, slanderous talk, harsh words and gossip, mental activities like covetousness, hatred, wrong view. All these we can restrain, and actually restraining these things also should be done with understanding. If we don't understand them, we cannot do anything. That is why in right view discourse, Sammaditthi Sutta, Venerable Sariputta straight away as number 1 of the 16 ways of developing our right view, number 1 he mentioned is this kind of restraint. He mentioned kusalancha pajanati, kusala moolancha pajanati, akusalancha pajanati, akusala moolancha pajanati. One should, he first mentioned akusala, unwholesome states. Why are they called akusala? Why something is called kusala? Akusala, I think this the word translation into English as wholesome, unwholesome, and kusala as wholesome also is, in my opinion, inadequate, insufficient. It doesn't cover the full meaning, doesn't convey the full meaning. A means negation, negative. Kusala means skill. Akusala means unskillful thoughts, words, deeds. Kusala means skillful thoughts, words and deeds. So there are 10 unskillful thoughts, words, deeds. Because these are unskillful, they bring us pain and suffering and prepare our bhava to take next step of our life or next birth in a woeful state of existence. When we commit any of those things, we cannot expect peace and happiness. They necessarily because their intrinsic nature is to generate painful results. That which generates painful result is called unskillful, and the mind, the mental state that makes that commitment to bring unwholesome and painful results is called unskillful mind. So, an unskillful mental, physical, verbal training necessarily prepare our next step or next life to bear painful results. So it becomes unskillful bhava, skillful bhava and unskillful bhava. There are no such terms in the Pali literature, but we can easily use without any violating the Buddha's teaching. We can easily say what we do unskillfully prepares our unskillful way to take rebirth in unskillful place, painful place. So, let us take them. One is sila, restraint with moral, ethical restraint, using following training principles, training rules to train our mind, train our words, train our body, so that the trained mind, body and words will not prepare our bhava or next existence in an unwholesome way. So, in the first place we must remember the chorus. What is the chorus? Chorus is unmindful reflection. When we unmindfully reflect, then unarisen taints arise, unarisen taints increase. When we mindfully reflect, unarisen taints don't arise, arisen taints decrease or vanishes. So, when you observe the moral training, moral principles, or moral training rules, we observe them with mindfulness, keeping in mind, I am observing this for this particular purpose. If we don't know that and simply repeat it, it becomes becoming attached to observances, rites and rituals. If we simply follow rules without knowing the meaning, without mindful reflection, it becomes silabbata paramasa. That is why it is very easy for somebody to break them, because the person does not have mindful reflection. If we use the rules and regulations, training rules and regulations with mindful reflection, they will not become silabbata paramasa. Not only that, silabbata paramasa means some other things also, but even the rules and regulations can be made into silabbata paramasa if we don't have mindful reflection. And the next sangvara means restraint, is virya. Friends, this has been arranged by the Buddha in such a wonderful way, because mindful reflection belongs to mindfulness. Virya belongs to right effort. And he said, one who sees and knows, that belongs to right understanding. 3 cardinal factors to the Noble Eightfold Path play very important role in this discourse. What are the 3 cardinal factors? Right understanding, right mindfulness and right effort. So right effort becomes one of the sila, one of the restraints, that is virya sangvara. Once we recognize them as something unwholesome, then we make effort to prevent them from arising in our mind. We remain mindful because as Buddha said, it is only those who see and know will restrain to remove and get rid of their taints. Then the other restraint is effort. Effort also, as you know, in the Noble Eightfold Path is given fourfold effort, as you all know. But we divide each effort, each of the fourfold efforts, into 3 subdivisions. All the 4, when we divide into 3 other subdivisions, there will be 12 type of efforts. We divide them by Arambha Dhatu, Nikkama Dhatu and Parakkama Dhatu. When we make an effort to prevent unarisen, unwholesome mental states, we first make Arambha, the beginning. We begin to prevent, we begin to make effort to prevent unarisen, unwholesome mental state. And then we do not stop right there. Then we repeat this effort to prevent it. Every time it arises, we repeat it. That's called Nikkama Dhatu. Nikkama means moving on, not stagnant. Arambha means you can begin and stop. Nikkama means don't stop. You proceed. But the word Nikkama, Nikkama comes from the root kamu. Kamu means movement. Come, go. That is the root word. Therefore, second effort is the effort to move on. Don't stop it. And the third is Parakkama Dhatu. So, Parakkama means valor, the bravery to face obstacles. When we face obstacles, we do not back off. We do not return. We do not become cowardly. We face the difficulties and break the difficulties, break the barriers, remove all obstacles and achieve our results. And therefore these 3 elements of effort also are extremely important. So we reinforce these fourfold efforts with these 3 elements. Second is to overcome already arisen unwholesome mental state. Once we overcome it, we do not stop it. When it arises again, we have to repeat it and keep repeating again and again the same element of effort. That is Parakkama Dhatu we apply to the second kind of effort. And the third element of effort we apply is to stop this movement, the unwholesome mental state that is arisen in our mind. Until we get rid of it, we continue. Similarly, for the other 2 efforts, to arouse wholesome mental states and to maintain wholesome mental states, to arouse we have to make effort. Once we arouse wholesome mental states, we do not stop it there. We must use the second reinforcement to continue repeating, arousing again and again and again wholesome mental state. And then until we gain wholesome mental state, we continue. Once we gain it, we accomplish our parakkama dhatu. And then again we apply for the other also. Once we gain it, we don't settle down, oh, I gain it. No. We have to proceed. Uppannānaṁ kusalanam dhammānaṁ titiya, to establish. Asammosaya, not to forget. Bhiyo bhavaya, multiply it. Bhavanaya, to repeatedly practice it. Paripurya, accomplish, complete. So, that also is a great restraint. And that way we can overcome our taints, asava, and to do that, even to apply effort, make effort, we have to have mindfulness, we have to have understanding. If we don't understand, we don't have mindfulness, we cannot apply effort. So these three cardinal factors also support each other. They reinforce each other. Then, third restraint is jnana samvara. Jnana means wisdom. You know, many things, many unwholesome mental states, taints, we can overcome by seeing and knowing through our wisdom, using our intelligence. Wisdom is actually not intelligence. Wisdom meaning seeing the truth of or reality without personally getting involved in it. If we personally get involved in the reality, then we are not wise. For example, in Majjhima Nikaya, in a certain discourse, Buddha said, if somebody claims the attainment of liberation and try to possess that, saying that this is my enlightenment, this is my wisdom, this is my vision, and if you apply me, my mind to wisdom, that is not a wisdom. So wisdom is letting things happen and become aware of it and be along with it without trying to possess it. That's the wisdom. So with that kind of training, we have to train ourselves to accomplish it and remain in that mental state. And the next restraint is khanti, patience. Lot of things we can accomplish with patience. As you know, I have many times mentioned, patience means buying time to say right things at the right time, with right words, with right attitude. If the attitude is wrong, even other three are accomplished, you lost your patience and your effort is wasted. So these four conditions must be fulfilled in order to complete our patience. That means we have to use right words, right time, the right place. If we use if we miss one of them, then we don't have patience. And the last is right attitude. We can speak very beautiful words to the very right good person, real person whom you want to talk to, with wrong attitude, you blow it up, make it worse. And therefore attitude also is very important. So, waiting for all these to come together is what is called patience. This is how I define patience. So, that is a great restraint, great discipline. We have to wait to find suitable words. We have to wait to find a suitable time. We have to wait to speak at the right place. If you speak at the wrong place, suppose you want to advise somebody, reprimand somebody, if you do it in front of everybody, that person gets embarrassed, upset, even can conceive grudge against you. He deliberately attacked me in public. He deliberately made me embarrassed. He can get upset. So, waiting to make this combination is a great discipline. And this is what is called patience. So Buddha said, with this patience, what we do while we are waiting, what are we doing? We calm ourselves, reduce our emotions, we plan, we think. If we have any anger to talk to the person, we say, no, this is not the right time. I am angry, I am upset. So the person learns from this waiting techniques to train himself to remove one's own mental taints, impurities, asavas. If he does not have that, he repairs condition for the next unpleasant birth. Next moment your birth will be very unpleasant. Next day your birth will be unpleasant. Next life your birth will be unpleasant. So we make wholesome bhava, skillful bhava, by using this kind of restraint. The last, of course, of these restraints is sati, mindfulness. I mean, that is the crown of all our restraints, mindfulness. And as Buddha said, only those who see and know can exercise their mindful reflection. If you don't know, if you don't see, if you don't have mindful reflection, we cannot restrain. So, what do we do with mindful, what do we do with sati? We make our mind fully preoccupied with sati, with mindfulness, so that we can build a buffer against invading taints, invading asavas. We build a fortress. When the invading asavas are coming to enter, trying to enter, they will back off. Because mindfulness has already occupied the mind. It is just like this alcohol atom and oxygen atom. When you drink alcohol, what happens? Well, alcohol atoms they are very fast, much faster than oxygen atom. They go and occupy the brain cells. When the oxygen atoms go, they have no place. All the cells are saturated with alcohol atom. So there is very little room for oxygen atom to go in. So they back off. So during that time, brain cells are dying at a very faster speed as they normally die. So the person talks very rubbish, behave in a very unacceptable, impolite way, says things and so forth, because the mind is not working properly. Cells are already began to already distorted, changed or killed. Similarly, when mindfulness occupies the mind, these invading taints cannot come in. That is why we have to mindfulness. What is the mind is full? It is full of this awareness, this insight, this sati. When it is full of sati, every time something is going to happen, it cannot find room, no space in the mind. And therefore they will slowly become retarded, weak, atrophy, and die. And therefore, restraining with mindfulness is extremely powerful restraint. So, these are the 5 types of restraints, and these are of course not explained in this detail in the sutta, but it opens us. We are not saying anything contrary or contradictory to the Buddha's teaching. We are using these things that Buddha has mentioned some other places. We bring them together to explain this particular aspect of the Sabbasava Sutta. I think this may suffice for tonight's Dhamma talk. I hope we all try to understand this discourse in as much details as possible for our own destroying our own taints, defilements, and make our bhava, good bhava, to be born, for us to be born in that good bhava. Okay?